The first case we will talk about occurred in 1908 in a remote part of Siberia known as the Tunguska Taiga. On June 30th, at 7 a.m., local residents witnessed an incredible phenomenon. A deafening explosion was heard in the sky, audible from more than 621 miles away. As a result of this explosion, about 770 square miles of forest were destroyed, and the trees were knocked down as if they had been cut by a giant axe. Witnesses described a bright light that blinded them and a powerful sound reminiscent of thunder. But what really happened? Scientific research has shown that it was likely a meteorite that exploded in the atmosphere, but the exact causes remain a subject of debate. Some researchers have even proposed theories that it could have been an event related to aliens or even secret weapon tests. Convinced that everything that happened was the work of angry, malevolent spirits, the people hurried to leave this terrifying place as quickly as possible. Over time, the site of the meteorite's impact was declared sacred. Shamans placed the strictest prohibition on it, and no person from that community, under the threat of severe punishment from supernatural forces, was to cross the boundary of this forbidden zone. Three main hypotheses have been proposed to explain the nature of the Tunguska phenomenon. The first is that the Tunguska meteorite was a clump of cosmic, most likely solar plasma, a cosmic ball lightning. The second states that the Tunguska meteorite was a small body of the solar system. And the third suggests that the Tunguska meteorite was a technological construct, a probe from an alien civilization. But the mystery of the Tunguska meteorite remains unsolved. In any case, the Tunguska meteorite became one of the most mysterious events in history, and its consequences are still being studied by scientists. In 1920, the Goba meteorite was found in Namibia. It became famous for its unique properties. It is the largest meteorite, weighing about 59 long tons. It fell approximately 80,000 years ago. It was found purely by chance, as there was no crater or other traces of its fall. This meteorite, composed mainly of iron, was discovered in the Gobi Desert and attracted the attention of scientists from all over the world. However, local residents began reporting strange sounds coming from the meteorite, which sparked many rumors and legends. Some claimed that the meteorite had magical properties and could heal diseases. Others said that it could predict the future. These unexplained phenomena led to the meteorite becoming an object of worship for some local residents. With this example, we can see that meteorites can evoke not only scientific interest, but also mystical beliefs. In the 1960s, the world witnessed one of the most significant meteorite events, when the Allende meteorite fell in the Mexican state of Chihuahua. This event not only attracted the attention of scientists, but also became an important milestone in the study of meteorites and their role in understanding the origin of our planet. On February 15th, at 8 a.m., the residents of the small town of Allende witnessed a bright fireball streaking across the sky. A meteorite, weighing about several long tons. It entered the Earth's atmosphere at a speed of about 9 miles per second and exploded at a high altitude, about 9 miles. As a result of this explosion, a powerful shockwave was created, which shattered windows in homes and caused panic among the local residents. Immediately after the meteorite's fall, the search for its fragments began. Scientists and researchers from all over the world arrived in Allende to study this unique meteorite. These fragments became a real treasure for scientists, as this meteorite turned out to be rich in minerals and organic compounds, providing an opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of the processes that occurred in the early solar system. One of the most interesting features of the Allende meteorite is its age. Research has shown that it was formed over 1 billion years ago. What makes it one of the oldest known materials associated with the formation of planets? This discovery gave scientists the opportunity to study the conditions under which planets formed and to understand how they evolved over time. This meteorite has also become an important object for studying organic molecules that could be precursors to life. Amino acids and other organic compounds were found in its composition, sparking interest in the question of how life could have originated on Earth and other planets. This discovery has spurred further research in the field of astrobiology and the search for life on other planets. Now let's move on. to the year 2013, when the world witnessed one of the most famous meteor events of modern times, the meteorite fall in Chelyabinsk. On February 15th, at 9 a.m. local time, a deafening explosion was heard in the sky over the Urals, audible for dozens of miles. The meteorite weighed about 12,800 long tons. It entered Earth's atmosphere at a speed of 11 miles per second and exploded at a high altitude, about 19 miles up. Witnesses described how a bright light blinded them, followed by a powerful shockwave that shattered windows in thousands of buildings and damaged more than 7,000 objects. Over 1,500 people were injured, mostly from glass shards. This event was a real shock for the local residents, and many of them began to wonder how such a thing could happen. The unusual phenomena associated with the meteorite's fall were not limited to just physical damage. Local residents reported strange sensations, and even that some of them saw glowing creatures in the sky. But the strangest thing is that after the fall, strange metallic spheres began to be found in local bodies of water, which, as it turned out, contained elements not typical of our planet. Some researchers began to propose theories that the meteorite might be connected to alien technologies, or even with natural phenomena that we cannot yet explain. This event became not only a scientific but also a cultural phenomenon, inspiring numerous films and books. The Chelyabinsk meteorite became a symbol of how suddenly and unexpectedly space can intervene in our lives. In 1850, the world witnessed an unusual meteorite event when a meteorite fell in the area of Sighisoara, Romania. On that day, November 24th, the residents of Sighisoara witnessed a bright fireball that streaked across the sky, leaving a trail of smoke behind. Shortly after, a powerful explosion was heard, audible from several miles away. A meteorite, weighing about 1.5 long tons, entered the Earth's atmosphere at a speed of about 13 miles per second and fell to Earth. Immediately after the meteorite's fall, local residents began to gather at the site to see the debris. Scientists and researchers also arrived there to study this unique meteorite. As a result of the search, several large fragments were found, which became the subject of scientific interest. Research showed that the meteorite is primarily composed of iron and nickel, confirming its origin from the asteroid belt. Rumors about the meteorite quickly spread, and soon it became a topic of discussion in local newspapers and scientific circles. Scientists began to propose theories about how meteorites might affect Earth's climate and ecosystem. This event also drew attention to questions about the origin of meteorites and their role in the formation of planets. Beyond its scientific significance, the Sighisoara meteorite became a cultural phenomenon. After its fall, local residents started finding strange stones that glowed in the dark. These stones would disappear when attempts were made to study them, leaving behind only dust. People began telling stories about how the meteorite was sent from the heavens to bring luck and blessings. Some even considered it a sacred object, which led to the meteorite becoming an object of worship for some local residents who believed it possessed special properties. This story highlights how meteorites can not only serve as objects of scientific interest but also influence our perception of reality and the formation of cultural traditions. The Sighisoara meteorite became a symbol of how space can interact with our lives, opening new horizons for research and reflection. In 1902, one of the most mysterious and largest meteorites was discovered in the forests of Oregon, near the city of Portland. This is the story of the Willamette meteorite. It weighs over 15 long tons. This is an object shrouded in mysteries and legends. The Willamette meteorite fell to Earth about 17,000 years ago. Scientists suggest that it came from the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. But how it ended up in the forests of Oregon remains a mystery. The fact is, there is no crater at the site where it was found. This means the meteorite might have fallen elsewhere and was then transported here by glaciers or water flows. The surface of the meteorite is covered with characteristic indentations that form when a space object passes through Earth's atmosphere. But what is truly surprising are the signs of erosion, which indicate that the meteorite was in water for a long time. This supports the theory of its relocation. For the local tribes, the Willamette meteorite has always been a sacred object. They called it to Manawas and believed it brought them luck and protection. The tribes conducted rituals here, asking the spirits for well-being. When the meteorite was discovered by Europeans, it sparked a conflict between science and the spiritual traditions of the indigenous peoples. In 1905, the meteorite was purchased for $26 and transported to New York, where it became part of the American Museum of Natural History's exhibit. But even here, it did not cease to be a subject of controversy. The indigenous tribes demanded the return of the sacred object, and in 2000, an agreement was reached. The museum acknowledged the spiritual significance of the meteorite to the tribes and allowed them to hold annual ceremonies there. But the Willamette meteorite is not just about history and science. It is also a source of mysterious phenomena. People who were near it reported strange sensations, dizziness, feelings of anxiety, and even visions. Some claimed to have heard voices or felt the presence of something inexplicable. Scientists cannot explain these phenomena, but the locals are convinced that these are spirits guarding the sacred stone. Today, this meteorite remains one of the most famous cosmic objects on Earth. It is studied by scientists and revered by indigenous tribes. And tourists from all over the world come to see this giant piece of space. But its mysteries remain unrevealed. What has it seen over millions of years in space? How did it end up on Earth? And why does it evoke such strange feelings in people? The Willamette meteorite. It's not just a stone. It's a reminder that our planet is part of a vast universe, full of mysteries. On February 12, 1947, an event occurred in the sky over the Ushiri Taiga in the Primorsky Krai of Russia that forever entered the history of science. On this day, local residents witnessed an incredible spectacle. A huge fireball streaked across the sky, leaving a smoky trail behind. This was the Sikhotalin meteorite, one of the largest and most studied meteorites in the world. The meteorite entered Earth's atmosphere at a speed of about 9 miles per second. Due to friction with the air, it began to heat up and glow, turning into a fireball visible for hundreds of miles. At an altitude of about miles, the meteorite exploded, shattering into thousands of fragments. This explosion was so powerful that it was compared to a nuclear one. The main mass of the meteorite fell in the area of the Sikhotalin range in the remote taiga. The blast wave knocked down trees over an area of more than 1 square mile, and dozens of craters formed on the ground. The Sikhotalin meteorite is classified as an iron meteorite. Upon impact, the meteorite shattered into thousands of fragments, creating what is known as a meteorite shower. This is a rare phenomenon that allows scientists to study how meteorites disintegrate in the atmosphere. Just a few days after the fall, the first expeditions were sent to the site of the disaster. Local residents who witnessed the meteorite's fall described it as both a terrifying and mesmerizing sight. They heard a loud rumble that resembled an explosion, and then saw the sky light up with a bright glow. Some even felt the ground shaking beneath their feet. But the story doesn't end there. After the meteorite fell in the Sikhotalin area, strange phenomena began to occur. Local hunters reported that animals were disappearing in the forest, and in some places, compasses stopped working. Scientists suggest that this might be related to the magnetic properties of the meteorite, but there is still no exact explanation for these phenomena. Today, fragments of the Sikhotalin meteorite can be seen in museums around the world. They are valuable exhibits that help scientists and simply curious people better understand what happens in space. But most importantly, the fall of this meteorite reminded us of how fragile our planet is and how important it is to study cosmic threats. Let's go back to 1917, when an unusual story involving a meteorite and the swapping of fairy photographs occurred in the small town of Cottingley. 2 girls, Alice and Frances, took several photographs that, according to them, captured fairies dancing in the woods. These photographs quickly became a sensation and attracted public attention. Although it was later revealed that the photographs were a hoax, the story of the meteorites and fairies continued to live on. Local residents began to associate the meteorite's fall with the appearance of fairies and other supernatural beings. This event became a symbol of how meteorites can influence public opinion and spark interest in mystical phenomena. This story demonstrates how meteorites can not only cause physical changes but also affect our perception of reality. In the year 2000, in the desert regions of China, near the city of Fukam, one of the most beautiful and mysterious meteorites in the world was discovered. The Fukam meteorite. It fell to Earth about billions of years ago, at a time when our solar system was just forming. It fell to Earth about billions of years ago, at a time when our solar system was just forming. It lay in the desert for thousands of years until it was discovered by local residents. Its age makes it one of the oldest objects ever found on Earth. What makes the Fukang meteorite so unique is its structure. Its main feature is the olivine crystals embedded in an iron-nickel matrix. These crystals have a golden green color and look like gemstones. Scientists believe that such meteorites formed at the boundary between the core and mantle of ancient protoplanets. The meteorite was discovered by chance. Local residents noticed an unusual stone that stood out with its shine and structure. When it was extracted from the earth, it became clear that it was not just a stone, but something much more valuable. Scientists also discovered rare minerals in its composition that are only found in cosmic objects. The local residents who first found the meteorite said that it seemed unusual to them from the very beginning. They noted that the stone appeared to glow from within, and its surface was covered with strange patterns. Some even believed that the meteorite possessed magical properties. The Fukang meteorite became not only a scientific sensation but also a collector's item. In 2008, one of its fragments was sold at auction for $2 million. Today, fragments of the meteorite can be found in museums and private collections around the world. This meteorite is not just a piece, a stone from space. It's a window into the past of our solar system, a reminder of how it all began. In the Chaco province in northern Argentina lies one of the most mysterious places on Earth, Campo del Cielo, which translates from Spanish as Field of the Sky. This is the site of an ancient meteor shower, which left behind dozens of craters and thousands of fragments of cosmic iron. About 4,000 to 6,000 years ago, a massive meteorite struck the Earth, breaking apart in the atmosphere into numerous fragments. These fragments fell on the territory of what is now Argentina, forming more than 26 craters. The largest of them, Laguna Negra, has a diameter of 4,500 inches and a depth of 79 inches. Campo del Cielo is a unique place for studying meteorites. More than 100 long tons of fragments have been found here, the largest of which, named El Chaco, weighs nearly 29 long tons. It is the second largest meteorite in the world after the Hoba meteorite from Namibia. The first mentions of the Campo del Cielo meteorites appeared as early as the 16th century, when Spanish conquistadors heard from the local indigenous people legends about stones that fell from the sky. But serious research only began in the 20th century. Scientists collected thousands of samples, which were later studied in laboratories. These studies helped to better understand the nature of meteorites and the processes that occur when they fall to Earth. Local residents who witnessed the meteorite's fall said it was both a terrifying and mesmerizing sight. They heard a loud crash that resembled an explosion, and then saw the sky light up with a bright glow. Some even felt the ground shaking beneath their feet. The meteor crater in Arizona, also known as the Barringer crater, is a giant depression formed about 50,000 years ago after the fall of a massive meteorite. This site is striking not only for its size, but also for its mystery. The local Navajo tribes consider the crater sacred, believing that spirits of ancestors reside here, guarding the entrance to other worlds. Scientists have found rare minerals here that are not found anywhere else on Earth, adding even more mystery to this place. Many visitors to the crater report strange sensations they experience while being near it. Some feel an inexplicable anxiety. Others hear whispers coming from deep within the crater, or see shadows moving without any apparent source of light. At night, mysterious lights sometimes appear over the crater, which, according to witnesses, move across the sky defying all laws of physics. These phenomena have yet to find a scientific explanation, making the crater a place where reality intertwines with myths. A mystical fact. Local shamans claim that in the crater, one can hear the voices of spirits warning of upcoming events. Some of them believe that the crater is a portal to other dimensions, and those who dare to enter it at a certain time may find themselves in another world from which there is no return. On January 18, 2000, a bright meteor exploded over the territory of Canada, near Tagish Lake, illuminating the sky for hundreds of kilometers around. Its fall was accompanied by a loud bang and a shockwave that was felt even in distant settlements. The meteor broke into numerous fragments, which were scattered across the snow-covered surface of the lake. This event became one of the most studied in history, as scientists were able to quickly collect samples that were preserved in perfect condition thanks to the cold. Local residents who witnessed the fall spoke of unusual phenomena. Some claimed that they heard a strange hum before the explosion, and after the fall, they saw above the lake mysterious lights that moved without a visible source. These stories sparked rumors that the meteor might not have been just a cosmic object, but something more mysterious. Some researchers and local residents believe that Tagish Lake, where the meteorite fell, possesses a special energy. They claim that in this place, one can feel the presence of something ancient. And those who spend too much time here start to have strange dreams or hear voices that cannot be explained. Stones disappeared when attempts were made to study them, leaving behind only dust. What? I'll explain in a new video.